Okay, so I just need y'all to understand. Junie and I are wearing sweatpants and like a tank top. And not to include myself with her, but I think we're very cute girls, you know? I think she's very hot and I think I'm very hot. So even when we're wearing, no makeup and we got our little sweatpants and stuff like that, like we're cute, we're hot, we're killing it, So we got our little drinks and we're sitting at the table and the band starts playing, okay? And next to me is just one random guy by himself. He looks to be about maybe 35. He's very tattooed, but still kind of looks like it was hard to tell. Even though he was tattooed, he kind of had like business clothes on. I don't know if that makes sense. It wasn't a suit, but like you can tell that he was doing something work related at this tiny little dive bar in the middle of nowhere, Southern California, with a very amateur band playing. Okay. And he was standing by himself and I kind of look at him and, I had this little seat here. So I'm like, hey, he looked professional. Yeah. Even though he had all his tattoos, he looked professional. And I was like, hey, by the way, if you want to sit down, I have an extra seat. And he looks at me and he goes, why? Are you hitting on me? Like just out of nowhere, he goes, are you hitting on me? So I freak out and I'm like, no. I immediately go, no. I'm just offering a seat, man. Like, no. Not to be a Tim Robinson, but I'm like, no, man. Well, I'm just offering a seat. And I think he must have like kind of picked up on my unease because he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, nowadays kindness is so, and by the way, I need you all to know the reason I reacted that way is because he was very attractive. Okay. The reason I reacted that way is because he was very cute. So that I was like extra weird. And Judy and I had like a few drinks before we got there because we had drinks at dinner. And then we were like, let's go to a bar just to like see what's up. And then they had a band. So we decided to stay. So this attractive man being like, why are you hitting on me? I was like, no. I'm just offering you a seat, man. What the fuck? Why would you? So, after that, he is like, hey, I'm so sorry. It's just nowadays, kindness is so rare that as soon as anybody is nice to you, you just assume they're hitting on you. He's like, I'm so sorry for assuming you're hitting on me. And then I don't know what happens to me, but I almost like my weirdness dissipates and my vigor comes back. And I'm like, well, listen, you are very, and I'm telling you, I went from like, this is how I know I am not ready at all to go out, to meet a man, to date a man, to talk to a man, is immediately after he says that, something in me is like, okay, I can flirt now. So I'm like, oh man, don't worry. I completely get it. But also, you are a very handsome guy. So if I was like a little, I could be hitting on you because, so I'm like, yeah, if I was hitting on you, I would be because you are very handsome. So anyway, he takes the seat and instead of sitting like next to us here, he sits here. Okay. So this is where it gets weird. This is where Junie's tweet comes in. Okay. So in order for me to look at the band, I have to look this way. Junie has to look this way. The guy has to look this way. Okay. And then randomly as this band, and he told me a little bit, he was there because like he does stuff in the music industry. So they're beginners and he's like coaching them, guiding them, all the stuff. So he was there for work to listen to this band. Okay. So this is where we're all supposed to look for the band. Okay. And then while he's listening to the band, he keeps looking like this over, but like not like this over at Junie. He keeps looking like he just keeps like turning all the way his neck to look at me, not Junie, me. Cause that's another thing. Like sometimes people will hit just on Junie or they'll hit just on me. We can tell, not a big deal, whatever. And every time he keeps doing that, I keep turning to her and making random conversation where I'll be like, this band's really good, right, Junie? Oh, what games are you playing lately? I just keep, every time he's turning back to look at me, which is happening several times in a song, I keep immediately turning to Junie and trying to make conversation. Where at one point, God bless Junie, she's like, Mata, stop. She's like, listen to the band. At one point, like, she says something like, why are you talking to me? Listen to the band. And I'm like, Junie, I keep looking at you because the guy that I gave the seat to that I thought was like kind of cute, now like he keeps looking at me and I don't want to talk to him. So that's why she had tweeted out. She was like, Mata's being real gay. Cause I kept like turning back at her, being like, oh my God, the band's really good. How do you think this wine is really nice, huh? We should come to this random bar more often. It's so fun that they had a little band. What? Do you think it's too much that they have like 8 people in the band? Like we're just, all that stuff, you know? So anyway, it was just, I'm glad that I'm healing and I'm getting better where I can like, you know, talk to people in my everyday life. But I think just like drinking with Junie and being in an environment where I was like, oh God. And then of course, you know, he was asking questions about me and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't want to talk about my life. I don't want to talk about my life. I'm not ready to open up. I'm not ready to fall in love. And it's crazy because it's like this is where it gets so intense. Nobody's talking about falling in love. It's literally just like, ooh, some random guy being like, cute girl offered me a chair. Let's talk to her. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not ready to be vulnerable and fall in love and talk about the fear of me getting sued last year. And I'm not ready to talk about all the pressure that I have that my mom told me that she's retiring this year to work for me and I better find the money to pay her and I got to pay for her retire. Like but yeah, poor Judy. At one point, she legit was like, Matara, stop. She's like, why are you making small talk? Listen to the band. Junie's like, are you bored? What's going on? My poor Junie. Yeah. And I will say this, obviously I'm not going to reveal anything about this guy, but he did tell me a little bit of information about himself. And I didn't believe him because it's LA. And I feel like everybody that I've ever met in LA lies about their work. And then I looked it up and he was right. He was doing the things he said he was doing. And I could find him online and good for him. I still, as soon as everything was done and he was talking with the band, I'm like, Junie, we have to go. He's like, what if he asks you for your number? I'm like, that's exactly why we have to go. I was like, I don't want him to ask for my number. But yeah, that is my life. That is my life. That is how we're at right now. But yeah, that's why Junie was like, damn, Matara's being real gay. Cause I just kept like, I basically just kept, why did you invite him to sit with you? I didn't invite him to sit with me. He was standing next to me by himself and we had an extra seat. So I was like, hey, if you want to take this seat and take it where you're standing, which he did. And then he caught me off guard when he was like, are you hitting on me? And then I looked at him and thought, wait, he's actually really, 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 really attractive. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just here with my straight girlfriend that I live with and that I watch TV shows with. And it's nice. Okay, to be clear, he wasn't gonna, okay, so when I offered him the seat, it's like a little stool. I moved the stool towards him. So like when he took the seat, he sat, so where he was standing, he just took the little stool and sat on it. Your story makes me want to explode that whole city. Heavenly, I don't know if therapy is enough for me, Heavenly. I think the industry has really, really done a number on me where I'm just not ready to open up to strangers. Unfortunately, I can fix you. No, Heavenly, I say this respectfully with love in my heart. You would make me worse, Heavenly. You would make me worse. I think just being around you makes me worse. Heavenly, can I get $20? I think you'd make me worse, Heavenly. Can we take 20 shots? Okay, we could. No, you'd make me worse because you just let me drink a lot. But yeah, so this is why Junie made the tweet about like us being gay. That I was being extra gay. But really, it's good. It's good because like I was telling Junie, because even Junie later, she's like, why be flirty? I was like, well, I don't want that attractive man to think that I don't think he's attractive. It was like a weird thing of, I know how little compliments men get. And I felt so bad that this guy was like, I'm so sorry for assuming you were hitting on me. And I was like, wait. I was being nice, but also you are very handsome. Just to be clear. But then also I was like, just because you're very handsome and you're very nice. Also, he was asking me like really, I think the reason too that I backed out very quickly is because he was like, are you here on a work visa? Because I mentioned I'm Canadian. I don't like, and he was not, so he was British. So I didn't like that like a non-American person was asking me about being here on a work visa. I was like, my spidey senses are being a little bit weird. Like stuff like that where I was like, are you just talking to me for a visa? What's going on? I don't know. It's yeah. But the good news is I am feeling better. I am doing better. I am feeling better. I'm definitely recovering here and there, but at the same time, I just think that I don't know what to tell people when they're like, "What do you do for work?" And I'm like, I think I'm gonna start telling them what I tell them Junie does, which is I draw anime pornography. Because I can't say I'm in between jobs. I mean, I could. What's a good way to tell somebody that you don't want to talk about work without also coming off bad and without also lying about it? If I say I'm an entrepreneur, they have too many follow-up questions. If I say I'm an accountant, they think I do OnlyFans. If I say I'm under NDA, they think my job is really, really expensive and good. Maybe I could be like, oh, I work at a morgue. But then again, the problem is I want a boring job where they won't ask follow-up questions. You know? Say you work logistics. What's logistics? Is that like wood? Maybe I can say I'm a project manager. That sounds boring. The problem is I'm too old to be like a student, you know? I'm a project manager. I'm in marketing. No, you're not. Shut up! I'm trying to come up with a good lie. I'm a project manager. I'm in marketing. I do human resources for a Canadian company. I work in human Oh, wait. This is perfect. I do human resources at a Canadian telecom company. I'm here on vacation. How do I know this girl? She's my friend. Boom. Nobody in America would be like, ooh, Rogers or TELUS? And even if they do, oh, that's so boring. It's perfect. I apologize if you're human resources at TELUS or Rogers. Wow, that's so good. HR might make people dislike you though. Good. I like, why not?